Hello, church family. Hope you're having a wonderful day and hope you had a wonderful Christmas and celebrating the birth of Christ. Today we're starting the book of James, and what a wonderful way to end the year, or more appropriately to start a new year. The book of James is about practical righteousness, how we should live our lives to please God. And James is the half-brother of Jesus. Most scholars believe that he is the one that wrote this, and he was a leader, prominent leader in the church in Jerusalem. And according to tradition, he was martyred in AD 62 by stoning. And James wants to get into our lives and teach us how we should live, because most of our lives are fractured, they're inconsistent, we have compromise, and we're unstable in a lot of ways. And he tries to give us teachings here, and there's many of them. There's only 5 chapters here, and they're relatively short, and they're just packed with teachings. So if I was going to recommend a book to you for your maturity, this would be the one. This is the most practical book in my eyes that's in the Bible. So we start out here with James talking about profiting from trials. And he said, count it all joy that you fall into various trials. And it doesn't mean that we should celebrate the trials, but what God is going to do in our lives through those to build our character. And so, and he says, if you like wisdom, then ask wisdom. And that's wisdom for these various trials that he would give to us liberally, and that we should not doubt. We should ask in faith on that. And he goes on to tell us that blessed is the man who endures temptation, for he shall receive the crown of life. And he tells us God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt man by evil, that we're drawn away by our own lust. Let me tell you, the devil knows us. He knows our desires, he knows our lust, and he knows how to tempt us. And he uses the word "and enticed" here. And I think about fishing and putting bait on a hook and trying to entice a fish. And many times I've thrown over near a fish and it just float right by them and they not strike it. But after a while, they get the hook. And this is the way we are in life if we go through deception and disobedience. And then it says death. Now this is death of separation from the fellowship of God. And as David and Bathsheba went through, and David tells about until he confessed his sin, because it tells us that he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us from all righteousness. So we see that, and then he talks and tells us about being doers of the word, not hearers only, but doers of the word. And there's a great promise that comes with that, because he says that we will be blessed. And when we get down to life and we kind of figure out what we need to do for God and feel like we don't know what to do, well, it tells us what pure and undefiled religion is. And that is to visit the orphans and the widows in their trouble and stay unspotted from the world. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I hope you spend some time reading it and studying it. You may have to read it over and over again. But the next 4 chapters will also hit these subjects, because chapter 1 is the introductory chapter, but it also sums up much of the other chapters too. So may you have a blessed day, and may you God's face shine upon you, and may He bring peace and graciousness to you, and please stay safe. God bless.